Okay, here we got these plates. You see the handle is angled down? There's a problem if that isn't put in like that. Then the handle is angled up and you can't get it out. Okay, here we got the plate on the ground and it's wrong. That handle's going to bend flat. Not good. Now Miles has got it turned around. The handle is up. It could be picked up, and the handle is away from traffic where it'll be less easy to trip on. That's the proper way. Now we'll watch Miles put it back. There's the problem. Now if he has to get that out of there, it won't come out. He's got to take the little plastic edges off. You wouldn't think that would be done wrong, but it's done wrong all the time. There it is.
To get the chock out without pinching yourself, push the release bar in, reach up. If you can't get into the hole on the gray part, just tug it back a little with the black handle, then put your hand into the top gray hole. Pull the whole unit out, and at that point, with your other hand, be sure that the black handle locks right here. Be sure that locks. Then place the chock. To replace it, put your one hand in the hole on top, use your thumb to release it, close it with the rest of your hand, and push it back in.
Easy.
If it isn't latched and the vehicle should happen to roll, this thing is going to collapse. It'll probably still stop the vehicle, but it's not what we want it to happen. So be sure when you take it out that you pull the bottom out, snap the black down until this little lock locks it. Then the chock is secured. Many times I've seen it put up like this, and I've seen it put up like this, and it's not going to hold. Okay? And again, to avoid pinching, you can use a thumb to release it, fingers to pull up the black handle, hold it all closed with two hands, and push it in.
Okay, as you can see, our nozzle sticks past the fly, the tip section of the ladder. In the event of a rescue, you're going to be hitting the building with this nozzle, and you're not going to get that very tip close as you want it. So we have a pinnable waterway here, and
why don't you do it, Lisa? I'll show you how it works.
We will show you. That black handle there is rear, so that means it's to the second section, and as the ladder goes out, the nozzle will stay in a little bit.
That hook stays there?
That would be for rescue. We have it set up all the time. That's the default way. If we wanted to lob water a long way, we would want to pin this nozzle, the waterway, to the fly section, which would we use that.
And then you physically flip it.
She flips that over.
It'll stretch. See if it's moving. This allows it. See how I'm coming back?
Oh, okay. So when you're pulling it back, it's going to stretch into position.
Yeah, see the eccentric on it? So you get it back to the point where it'll fit over it. And then to go forward, it locks it.
Got it.
Now it's hooked to the front section.
Okay.
And then we'll return it to the rear section.
So it's just a matter of doing the same thing.
Default would be rear to the other section because we want to think about rescue first.
You got it.
Got it.
So now we're locked to the not to the fly tip section. We're locked to the other one. So as the ladder extends, the nozzle will stay back. The decision to put this nozzle at the tip has to be made before you put the ladder up, and you have to crawl up there. So that's another thing that the operator of the ladder would have to decide, because you'd look stupid bringing that ladder back to do that.
It has to be bedded to do it.
Yeah, you have to be bedded. So the decision is made before you do any ladder work if you want to put the nozzle at the top. Benefit to having the nozzle at the top, it puts if there was a nozzle man, it puts him near the intercom. Okay, we're at the top, and Miles is going to show us some of the override controls.
Okay. there are two override controls underneath this panel at the base of the ladder to operate them. If there's a failure in rotation or extension and retraction, one operator would operate the handles while another operator would hold up on one of these red buttons.
So Miles, you're saying this is kind of a two-man operation up here?
It is.
Okay.
It is. In a pinch with the controls this close, conceivably one person could do it, but it wouldn't be as safe as to have two people do it, because then they could watch what the ladder's doing.
Okay.
Now those two overrides are the only two that I'm aware of that are up here. The other two, which control the outrigger operation and the raising and lowering of the ladder, are at the back of the vehicle down below. We'll show you those also. Just to the left side of the water intake for the ladder at the rear of the vehicle is a chrome door, and inside that door are two controls. This one is labeled, the one on the left is labeled stabilizer override, and if for some reason everything looks safe but the stabilizers won't move, if someone will hold this pin, this button out, while an operator works the stabilizer controls from behind this door right in here, you should be able to get movement from the stabilizers in an emergency. And if the aerial will not bed or will not come out of the bed and everything looks safe, you can attempt to make the aerial move by having someone hold the override button to the right while someone goes up and operates the ladder with the ladder controls up above.
And one other thing, rarely do you need to open this up. Some people open that up, they forget about it, and it gets caught in the door. That plastic thing, there's nothing you could touch. Every little switch here you can get underneath the plastic.
Drop-in graphics.
When this ladder is bedded, your system pressure, you're going to hold that lower valve like this until that thing reaches its maximum. Wherever that gauge is and it stops, it's going to be high, 1,500, 2,000, something like that. It's going to be way up there. And that, you know, then you got the ladder driven into the bed. That would reduce bouncing over the tracks and such. We have a two-way radio here, and of course we have our intercom. I have a picture of the buttons underneath the truck. This is between, it's inside the frame rail on the passenger side. You can see there's one button right here. There's another button on the far side of that blue thing, and then there's another setup like this for the rear axle. And one button will make the wheels go one way, and one button would make the wheels go the other way, and this would be used in the event that there was a failure in the system and the wheels got stuck out or turning when you wanted to go straight. You'd hit those buttons and return the wheels to the center, and that would override the system. So there's two of these blue control units, and it's tucked in the frame rail